I just went on a trip and I am feeling inspired. So today we are talking about the Paris Catacombs. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, Hexes and Horrors. It has been a while since I have made an appearance on YouTube. I just haven't had a lot of time lately to sit down and figure out what I wanted to talk about and record videos. I'm a middle school teacher and the school year is always super busy, so it's hard to find the time for everything that I want to do in terms of social media. But I just went on a trip and I am feeling inspired. So today we are talking about the Paris Catacombs. So obviously the trip that I took was to Paris. We went for my mom's 70th birthday. It was sort of a surprise trip for her. My parents, my brother, and my sister-in-law. Sadly, my husband was not able to come on this trip, but he will be on the next one. I've been to Paris before, but not in 23 years. The last time that I went, I was 15, so it's been a while. And the catacombs were definitely high on my Paris bucket list for this trip. Also, I recently got braces, so don't mind me if I am fumbling through my words or it sounds a little weird. I am definitely not used to them yet. They've been on for about 3 weeks now. So let's get into it because today I'm going to take you on a little virtual tour. The catacombs contain the remains of over 6 million bodies. It takes 131 steps to get down into the catacombs. Like I said, they are 90 feet below the ground. And then it takes 112 more steps going up to make your way out of the catacombs. So keep that in mind if you are visiting. There is no elevator access, and the stairs are the only way in and out of the catacombs. Because of that, it is not recommended for people with limited mobility, and it is not wheelchair accessible, unfortunately. Inside the catacombs, it's typically about 57 degrees Fahrenheit or 14 degrees Celsius. And it's a little damp. It doesn't smell bad, as some people have asked me. It just smells like damp stone. That would be the best way that I could describe it, like you're in a cave. It takes a bit of time before you actually reach the ossuary. And first, you'll travel through some long, narrow corridors while you learn a little bit of the history of the catacombs and why they were initially built. We booked our tickets for the catacombs directly with the website, and keep in mind that they only release tickets 7 or 8 days in advance. So you have to make sure that you're on top of that and get your tickets on time if you're getting them through the website. So you cannot book them a month in advance or even a few months in advance. You can only book them 7 or 8 days ahead of your visit. We went with that option because I'm a little skeptical about third-party websites like Viator and TripAdvisor. We did use those on this trip and it actually was really stressful. And one of the tours we booked through a third-party company, we ended up missing part of the tour because the tour guide was late, and we had actually paid extra money to do that and obviously didn't get that money back, so it was kind of silly. They didn't offer a refund or anything, and that's just an example of why I'm skeptical of third-party websites. So I personally was more comfortable booking these tickets directly through the Catacombs website. Included with our tickets was an audio guide, so we were able to get that in English. And that was super helpful while walking through so we could know what exactly we were looking at and what parts of the underground layer we were walking through. So why were the catacombs initially built? They were built because overcrowding was happening in local cemeteries. And as cities expanded further, the living ended up sort of mingling with the dead as they were doing their daily business right near the cemeteries. And bodies at that time were typically buried in mass graves, so people living in the communities nearby were starting to smell decomposition smells. They thought it was unhygienic and becoming a public health crisis. Another reason for the catacombs was the issue of sinkholes popping up around the city. As a solution to the sinkholes around the city, the underground tunnels were built to better support the cities and the roads and everything above ground. So in December of 1785, workers began exhuming bodies at night from Holy Innocents Cemetery, the biggest cemetery at the time, and transferring them by torchlight to the underground tunnels. Then in 1789, the French Revolution put a pause to this whole operation, but bodies started to pile up during the Reign of Terror, and at that point, the city's dead began to be buried directly in the catacombs. That led to its new reputation as the Empire of the Dead. There are no markers or headstones for anyone who's buried inside the catacombs, and in death, all are equal, as people from all classes were buried side by side there. Can be a little claustrophobic for some inside the catacombs. I don't really struggle with that, but if you do and you're concerned about visiting, I would suggest just doing your research and watching as many videos as possible to see if it's something you'd be comfortable with and that you can handle. Some of the corridors are a little narrow. They're not so narrow that the walls are right next to you, but it might be too narrow for your comfort level. I would plan for at least 1 hour if you're visiting the catacombs. That's plenty of time to get in and out. And you absolutely cannot touch the bones inside the catacombs. I'm not quite sure why anyone would want to, but that is a popular question. No, you cannot touch the bones. The bones are not blocked off or encased by anything. They are just out there right where you are. So it would be very easy to touch the bones, and I actually had to be really careful because I had a backpack on and I didn't want to back up into the bones, which almost happened a couple times as I was taking pictures. So you do have to be really careful. These are thousands and thousands of Parisians buried underground, so we do want to be respectful and adhere to the guidelines and the rules that are given. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little virtual tour of the Paris Catacombs, the Empire of the Dead, and I hope you get a chance to visit yourself if you'd like to. Thank you so much for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss more videos like this one. Thanks again, and I hope to see you soon. Stay spooky.